we've talked players, but there's one guy in the organization that I think everybody is setting their sights on in the fan base, and it's Mike Sullivan. And it's only going to heat up more because of what we saw in Boston with Jim Montgomery earlier this week. But what do you think it would take for him to get his walking papers from Pittsburgh? Because they're close to last in the Eastern Conference. They're vastly underplaying and underperforming what they expected to. What would it take for them to finally pull the trigger on Mike Sullivan being out as Penguins head coach?
Nick, that is a great question because I really have no idea at this point. You could have fired him over a number of losses this year, Edmonton being one of them, the collapse in Calgary, heck, even that game in Columbus. Heck, if they had fully blown that game against San Jose, that one would have been a very easy one to fire him after as well. I saw a tweet last night saying like, oh, I can't wait for the Mike Sullivan relieved of duties tweet on Wednesday. I have a better chance of losing my beautiful Jufro here than that happening because it wasn't going to happen on Wednesday. Yeah. I really think they might wait this out for the entire season. Now, would I do that? No, I would kind of part ways with him right now, and I would go make a run at Jim Montgomery. I think Montgomery is a very good coach. I don't think he is the main reason why the Bruins stink this year. I look up and down that roster. It's not very good. And Jeremy Swayman is also not playing well in net after missing all of camp in the preseason. You want to blame someone in Boston. How do you blame Don Sweeney for that roster construction these last couple of years? Yeah, they probably overperformed last year, but a big reason for that was because of their goalies. And, oh, yeah, Jim Montgomery is a very good coach. I think he's a very good X's and O's guy, and I think he will be able to turn around the way the Penguins have played defensively this season. I think he'd be able to instill, some new innovative ideas for this team. So that's what I would do. But what I think the organization is going to do is that they might wait this out this entire season before making a decision in, mid to late April, early May, something like that. It's time for as much as he's accomplished here, the back-to-back cups with how successful he's been. Every coach has a shelf life. Every coach has an expiration date. He's reached his here. I mean, 8 multi-goal blown leads in 21 games says it all. He hasn't won a playoff series in 6 years right now. No coach should survive that. And hopefully that won't be the case at the end of the season, and they'll be able to finally move on and make a change, even though, again, I would do it right now personally.
I'll tell you one thing. You just gave Matt Grzelcyk night terrors saying Jim Montgomery could be that option if they end up getting a new coach.
Matt Grzelcyk, man, I don't want to be too mean, but it's past time for him to be scratched. It's been really bad. I think the Penguins really missed the eval there. I remember on July 1 when they signed him to a 1-year deal, I was like, did they not know that he was scratched for most games last season? He barely played in the playoffs. His underlying numbers weren't that good. He was someone that I really wanted a couple of years ago when I felt like he was really underrated in the league. His numbers were great, especially in his own zone. But these last couple of years, he has fallen completely off a cliff. I'm not even sure the Penguins will be able to get anything for him at the deadline. That might have to be a future considerations type of trade, or something like that. But it is past time for him to be, in the press box for a night or two. I understand why Ryan Graves is being scratched right now because I think he's been okay this season. He's been a bit better than last year, but that's not really saying much considering how bad he was last year. But if we're being real, 24 has been worse